Welcome to LyFiveElements, where we are dedicated to sharing the wisdom of traditional Chinese metaphysics with the world. Our mission is to teach complex subjects like the four pillars of destiny, also known as Bazi, Qi Feng Shui, and more, in simple, easy to understand English. Subscribe and share our content to help spread this ancient knowledge. Your support is what drives us forward. We also offer personalized one-on-one consultations to guide you on your metaphysical journey. Feel free to leave a comment or contact us directly for more information. Thank you for being part of our community. Hello everyone, I'm Maureen. Welcome to our intermediate course on Bazi analysis. Before we begin, make sure to watch my basic course videos if you haven't already. You will require the concepts from the basic course in order to understand the concepts from the intermediate course. Today, I'm going to share the third lesson, how to determine when a person will become wealthy. This is a question that's asked quite frequently. Whether the client is male or female, they usually inquire about their financial luck when they come to us for a Bazi reading. They want to know how their recent financial fortune has been and when they might become wealthy in the future. So how can we specifically assess this? Here, I will share with you a core principle for evaluating wealth. You need to understand how wealth is generated. Here is a chart of the 10 gods interaction. Previously, in the beginner course on reading Bazi, we shared the interactions of the 5 elements. Similarly, the 10 gods also interact with each other. Let's start with rock wealth, or companion, which represents oneself. Here arises a question of strength and weakness. So what interacts with direct or indirect wealth? Eating god or hurting officer can generate direct or indirect wealth. Direct or indirect wealth can generate direct officer or 7 killings. And direct or indirect wealth can also control direct or indirect resource. Let's not dwell into complexity now. Let's first discuss the relationships between eating god, hurting officer, and direct, indirect wealth. There are several types of relationships. The first is called strong day master, meaning the individual's day master is very prosperous. This indicates the presence of direct or indirect resource or assistance from companion or rock wealth. And the month ruler either supports or produces the day master. This person has the potential to generate wealth. Moreover, their Bazi itself carries a lot of wealth, whether it's direct or indirect wealth, which is referred to as strong day master and strong wealth. Such individuals need to wait for the major luck cycles and annual luck cycles to activate this potential. Because their fate is already determined, they just have to wait. Only when they encounter a major luck cycle or annual luck cycle with eating god or hurting officer or direct indirect wealth can they make significant wealth. The principle behind this is that they are already strong themselves, have wealth inherent in their Bazi. During the major or annual luck cycles, they encounter either eating god or hurting officer to generate wealth or direct or indirect wealth itself, which triggers their wealth accumulation. For individuals with a strong day master and strong wealth, inherent in the Bazi chart, encountering major luck cycles or annual luck cycles and meeting with eating god or hurting officer or encountering direct indirect wealth can lead to great wealth accumulation. Then there's another type of relationship. After examining different Bazi charts, you will find various configurations. Some people have a strong day master, but their wealth inherent in the Bazi itself is weak. In such cases, encountering major luck cycles or annual luck cycles and meeting with eating god or hurting officer to generate wealth, or encountering direct indirect wealth during these cycles can still lead to wealth accumulation. However, they may not accumulate great wealth, but rather moderate wealth. Now, let's consider another scenario where the day master is relatively weak, but their wealth in the Bazi is strong. What happens in this case? This person encounters difficulty in seeking wealth. Instead, they may feel burdened by it because their own energy is insufficient. Despite having many opportunities to earn money, they find it challenging to attain wealth and often experience fatigue and hardship in the process. In such situations, what is needed is for the major luck cycles or annual luck cycles to encounter direct, indirect resource, rob wealth, and companion. Both direct, indirect resource assist and nourish the day master, enhancing their energy, while rob wealth and companion also adds energy to the day master. Thus, despite the weak self, transforming from a weak self to a strong self during these cycles allows them to create the wealth they inherently possess. For individuals with a weak self but strong wealth, encountering direct, indirect resource, rob wealth, and companion during major luck cycles or annual luck cycles can lead to significant wealth accumulation. Now, let's discuss another scenario where both the day master and inherent in the Bazi chart are weak. In this case, for the weak day master, there isn't much wealth indicated in the Bazi chart. Perhaps there are only minor signs of wealth hidden in the earthly branches. When major luck cycles or annual luck cycles encounter direct, indirect resource, rob wealth, and companion, it increases the energy of the day master, thereby strengthening it. As a result, the day master is strong enough to extract the existing wealth and brings it out. However, the wealth accumulated tends to be moderate or minor. They may not achieve significant wealth accumulation. This represents another scenario where the individual can accumulate wealth, but typically not on a large scale. This kind of person is rare, but you will encounter them one day. What about another type? In the four pillars of destiny, there's a type where there's no inherent wealth in the Bazi chart at all, but they have a strong day master. When their major luck cycles come, they encounter wealth, whether it's direct wealth or indirect wealth. When they encounter wealth, they make money, but their wealth luck is not long lasting. They make money as soon as their major luck cycles come. However, these cycles pass quickly, and once they pass, they're back to having no money again. So their wealth is not enduring. Another type exists as well, regardless of whether they have a strong or weak day master. They prosper when they encounter their wealth storage or safe. Each of the five elements, depending on the day master's element, has its own safe. When they encounter these 12-year cycles, they encounter their safe, and when they do, they make money. However, this concept of the safe is quite complex. We will discuss this topic later. For now, it's sufficient for everyone to know that it exists. Additionally, we need to consider another issue called combine, transform, punish, and clash, which is akin to a chemical reaction. Remember what we learned before about observing the strength of the day master, giving 40 points for the month ruler, 12 points for everything else, and slightly fewer points for the year stem and branch. The simple addition and subtraction within 100. But as we delve deeper, I will introduce this concept of a chemical reaction. Let me give you all an example by analyzing a Bazi chart. Following the first step of Bazi analysis, we need to determine if the day master is strong or weak. Looking at the Ji Earth day master, we see the presence of Chou Earth, month ruler, supporting it, along with Si Fire and another Chou. So we consider this a strong day master. In Bazi, if the day master is strong, the element that controls it can create wealth. Being an earth day master, it controls water. Logically, encountering a water year can bring wealth. So when are the water years? You can see high in 1 year and Zi in another year. These 2 years should have brought wealth, but they didn't. Additionally, there are 2 heavenly stems, Ren and Gui, which are originally associated with wealth, but encountering high in the earthly branches prevented wealth from materializing. Why couldn't wealth materialize? There's a combine and transform relationship formed here because yin combines with hai. This is a chemical reaction where yin combining with hai enhances the water energy and then transforming it into wood energy. This water energy is thus absorbed and transformed into wood energy. Furthermore, there's zi, originally a water element, but it combines with chou, transforming into earth energy. So zi loses its water essence. Essentially, the wealth element is neutralized. Despite the person having a strong day master and theoretically should prosper during their major luck cycles, encountering wealth should bring wealth as per the principle. Strong day master individuals, when encountering wealth in their major luck cycles, will indeed prosper. Such Bazi charts are rare, and I have diligently found this case. However, due to the interactions like combination and transformation, the anticipated wealth couldn't manifest. So we must consider the issue of combination and transformation seriously. Now, let's examine a few Bazi cases. Let's randomly select a chart and determine the strength of the individual day master. Firstly, we have a Ding Fire day master. Looking at the month pillar, we see Zi, water, controlling it, along with another water, an earth element, weakening it. So we consider this person as having a weak day master. For weekday master individuals, when would wealth come? We need to see if there's any wealth in the chart. Looking at all 4 pillars, this chart fits the description of a monk's destiny, meaning there's no wealth element present in Bazi. This person is what we call 4 pillars without wealth, and the weekday masters, which signifies a life where wealth accumulation is difficult. For instance, let's see when this person might encounter a wealth star. Typically, we look at the cycle between the ages of 20 to over 50 to assess wealth prospects. Before the age of 20, even if there are wealth stars present, they won't be effective. Take the age of 20 for instance. There are 2 wealth stars present. But due to the weekday master, he can't activate these wealth stars. This indicates not only the inability to accumulate wealth, but also suggests hardships and struggles for money. This is a monk's destiny, where there's no wealth element present in any pillar of the Bazi chart. Let's share another case with everyone, and as before, let's start by analyzing the strength of the individual day master. In this case, we see another example of a weak day master. The day master is Ting Fire and is being controlled by several water elements. However, despite the weakness, this individual's Bazi chart contains wealth elements, specifically 2 indirect wealth. This condition is termed as weak day master with strong wealth. Having 2 indirect wealth elements, Yo metal, already signifies wealth abundance and is considered a pattern of extreme wealth. 2 Yo metal undergoes self-punishment, which is equivalent to 10 indirect wealth elements. However, due to the individual's weak constitution, these elements are interpreted as further depleting the individual's energy. Now, let's examine the major luck cycles. Typically, we look at the cycle after the age of 20. We're interested when this individual encounters favorable elements like direct, indirect resource, rock wealth, and companion. You might wonder, isn't being fire the rock wealth element? Wouldn't it rob away the wealth? While being fire is considered one of the 10 gods of unfavorable nature. In this context, it strengthens the individual's self element, increasing their overall energy. Thus, encountering it during major luck cycle enables the individual to assess and utilize their wealth better. For instance, let's look at a year where there is a companion. This year, though not a major windfall, still brings some financial opportunities due to the presence of moderate energy. Additionally, for a weekday master in the first half of the year, with direct resource, will experience a boost in energy due to the direct resource, which might bring some financial gains. Understanding the dynamics of a weekday master with strong inherent wealth, encountering favorable elements during major luck cycles can lead to financial success. Let's look at another case. This individual has a strong day master with a Jia wood day master, supported by Zi water, which happens to be the direct resource, and that's Mao wood, assisting the Jia wood, as well as Yi wood, adding to the strength. So considering the person's day master, it is deemed to be a strong day master. Now, let's examine if there are wealth elements in the Bazi chart. We can see there's an indirect wealth and a direct wealth, which is quite favorable. Having both an indirect and direct wealth element signifies a strong financial potential. Thus, this person can be said to be a strong day master with strong wealth. So, what represents as wealth for Jia wood? Jia wood controls earth, so earth represents wealth. Additionally, what represents is eating god and hurting officer. The fire generated by Jia wood represents its eating god and hurting officer. Therefore, after his 20s, When he encounters Earth, which signifies wealth, it indicates potential financial gains, which means he might earn some windfall income from indirect wealth. So when will his indirect wealth come in? It will happen in the second half of the year when he encounters indirect wealth, triggered by the monthly luck cycle. The annual luck cycle gives the command, while the monthly luck cycle executes it. By identifying the specific month, you can predict when he will receive financial gains. For a person with a strong day master, encountering eating god or hurting officer, which generates wealth, along with wealth itself, can lead to financial gains. Look at the age of 20. He encounters an eating god. And there's also indirect wealth star here. The eating god generates wealth. It enhances the energy of the wealth stars, giving him another opportunity to gain wealth. Additionally, this eating god and hurting officer in this year also present opportunities for financial gains. This year, he encounters a hurting officer along with wealth, meaning his financial luck has been strong for several consecutive years. When a person has a strong day master and abundant wealth, encountering a major luck cycle or annual luck cycle that includes eating god or hurting officer, generating wealth will further enhance the wealth energy in his Bazi. Alternatively, if the major luck cycle or annual luck cycle brings both direct wealth and indirect wealth, this will be another prime opportunity for him to accumulate wealth. There's another difference between direct wealth and indirect wealth that I would like everyone to understand. Indirect wealth can be sporadic, it comes and goes. It might come in one moment, but then it disappears again later. For example, in a particular year, there might be some indirect wealth, and it gets triggered when the person encounters the month luck cycle of Wu, Shi. During the month luck cycle of Wu, Shi, the indirect wealth comes in. Similarly, there might be some indirect wealth in April during the month of Chen. However, once these 2 months pass, the money disappears. Now let's discuss direct wealth. For instance, if there's a direct wealth, it could mean the person gets a stable job or invests in a business project. To understand whether it's direct wealth, you need to analyze the combinations in the Bazi chart. You can infer that it's a stable income source and will continue for some time. How long will it continue? It will persist until the person encounters rock wealth in the Bazi chart. When they encounter rock wealth, it signifies the end of the stable income source. You can interpret this as either changing jobs or losing the stable income they had in the preceding years. It's important to understand the relationship between direct wealth and indirect wealth. Direct wealth is continuous, while indirect wealth comes and goes sporadically. Once direct wealth appears, it will influence the person's fortune for several years to come. This understanding is based on my experiences gained from practical fortune telling and analysis. Don't miss out. Hit subscribe and share to join us on this incredible journey of discovery. Your support fuels our passion to keep creating. Any questions or need personalized guidance? Leave us a comment or get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for being part of the LyFiveElements family. If anything is unclear, feel free to drop a comment below. I would love to discuss and explore these topics with you. And for those of you who want to understand your Bazi chart but find the learning process too complicated, you can always message me for a one-on-one consultation. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Your support truly motivates me to keep sharing this knowledge. See you in the next lesson.